This is CBS.
Coming up on the Weekend Report, several classrooms at Atherton High School are damaged in an early morning fire.
Former President Ronald Reagan speaks out about an unauthorized biography on his wife, Nancy.
And 2 astronauts aboard the space shuttle Atlantis make the first spacewalk by Americans in more than 5 years.
Stay up and stay with us. Channel 32 News is next.
Things are really cooking now that so many Druthers have become Dairy Queen restaurants. Not only are the same great people still scrambling to bring you their famous breakfasts, but now they're serving up a totally new menu of scrumptious Dairy Queen brazier food and frozen treats you're sure to flip over. So stop by. Now that we're Dairy Queen, there's even more to like. We treat you right. Dairy Queen.
Right now, when you take out a loan at First National, you not only get a quick and easy loan at a competitive rate, you also get a little surprise.
Bonds. Free bonds.
That's right, up to $200 in free bonds. So if you need a loan for a car, boat, or whatever, see First National for details on the loan that pays you something back. And you have our bond on that. First National Bank.
Hardee's math. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 1. Yes, right now at Hardee's, 3 regular hamburgers equal $1. 6 burgers equal $2. 9 burgers $3. And 12 burgers equal only $4. 12 is the limit, so let's review. At Hardee's, 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals plus 1. But only for a limited time, so don't be tardy. Class, no running in the halls.
This is WLKY TV, Louisville, your 24-hour news source. Now, Steve Bergen, Julia Yarbo, Linda McLaughlin with weather, and Rick Van Hoos on sports. This is Channel 32 News, the Weekend Report.
Good evening. Topping our Weekend Report, fire officials continue to probe the cause of an early morning blaze at Atherton High School.
That fire destroyed a portable building and damaged several classrooms. It began around 3 this morning. This video was shot by a man who lives in the neighborhood surrounding Atherton. Today, crews were busy cleaning up and trying to get ready for students returning from spring break.
There will be the disruption of a different classroom setting. However, we'll provide desks as needed and chalkboards and materials, the resources that are needed to conduct that classroom.
Water damage inside the main building was caused by the school's sprinkler system.
Louisville police tonight are investigating another murder, the 4th stabbing death in the past 3 days. Police say 32-year-old Sylvester Gardner Jr. was stabbed several times in this lot at 18th and Congress about 11:30 last night. He was pronounced dead a short time later. Since Friday, 3 Louisville men have been the victims of stabbings. Suspects have been charged in those cases. No arrests have yet been made in this latest incident.
A toxic cloud at a Georgia chemical plant forced evacuations earlier today. 1,200 people in 3 counties were forced to flee their homes for several hours. The plant, which was destroyed by the blaze, made fertilizer. No one was hurt. Investigators are now trying to determine what caused the fire. In Kuwait, a Texas firefighting team snuffed out the first of more than 500 blazing oil wells. It was a small victory, but it could mark the turning point in one of the world's worst environmental disasters. Kuwaiti officials estimate they are losing some 6 million gallons of oil a day, worth more than $100 million. And that doesn't include the cost of putting out the fires. Some of the firefighters are making $1,000 a day.
Iraqi troops today made another attack against Kurdish guerrillas in northern Iraq. As the fighting continues, thousands of Kurdish refugees are trying to flee into Iran and Turkey. Some 2 million people fled from homes in northern Iraq when Saddam Hussein's army crushed a post-Gulf War revolt. U.S. cargo planes have dropped food, blankets, and medical supplies to the refugees. Many have died struggling toward Iran and Turkey. Secretary of State James Baker arrived in Turkey today. Baker warned Iraq not to interfere with the U.S. emergency airdrop of supplies to Kurdish refugees. During political talks, Baker urged the president of Turkey to keep the Turkish border open to the Kurds. Later, speaking to reporters, Baker reiterated the U.S. policy of not militarily interfering in the situation in Iraq. Baker is scheduled to inspect a refugee camp near the Iraqi border Monday.
President Bush had proclaimed this a national day of thanksgiving marking the end of the Persian Gulf War. The president attended church services in Houston where he offered a prayer for Iraq's suffering civilian population. He told the congregation that God didn't help win the war, he helped the U.S. do what was right. At Cherry Hill, New Jersey, this National Day of Thanksgiving was celebrated with a parade and rally that also honored former Iraqi prisoner of war Lieutenant Jeffrey Zahn. Zahn was shot down in the early hours of Operation Desert Storm, and then he was paraded before TV cameras along with other POWs. Zahn told the crowd, "We fought for what was right." Some Louisvillians also marked this day. At the St. Paul Methodist Church in the Highlands, bells rang out this afternoon. And over this weekend, St. Matthew's residents and Boy Scouts placed American flags in many front yards.
More U.S. troops are back home from the Persian Gulf. More than 2,400 soldiers arrived at Fort Campbell today. Many family members waiting to welcome home the troops have given the local economy a boost. Clarksville, Tennessee officials say area hotels have been booked solid as family and friends wait for the return of a loved one. A handful of women who served in the Vietnam War relived the experience today thanks to the Actors Theater. This play, A Piece of My Heart, focuses on the problem 6 women encountered when they returned from Vietnam.
All right. Well, I'm out of the service. San Francisco, intensive care. They won't let me hang a pint of blood without supervision from the IV nurse. I have put in more IVs in my year in NAM than she will do in her lifetime, and who in the hell is she to evaluate my skills?
The play is based on interviews conducted with the 6 women, 5 of whom were in the audience today.
And I can just see me still standing up there and almost yelling at them. And I can remember my tears, and I could feel all of this rejection that they gave me. And they were saying to me, you're a nobody, you have no credibility. How do you know all of this? How do you know any of this?
A Piece of My Heart is part of the Actors Theater's Humanifestival series. It runs through April 13th.
Business people nationwide are anxiously awaiting signs that the recession is ending, and area auto dealers say they've seen an indication. Attendance was good for the 8th annual Louisville Auto Show, which ended this evening at the fairgrounds, and many dealers say people were buying as well as looking. 4 dealers at the show sold more than 75 vehicles during the first 3 days of the show, bettering last year's sales totals. A sales manager for one local dealership shared the view of others in predicting a sales turnaround. This is Bob Collins.
I think the attitude is a lot better now. It's a lot better. I think the public's view of spending is a lot better now, and starting to take a look at some of the cars. Matter of fact, even the more expensive cars, people are starting to look at that, and also leasing.
Despite the local optimism, latest sales figures show sales declines in March for most manufacturers. The old armor plant in Butchertown opens under a new name and new owner tomorrow. Munford Incorporated will use 600 former armor workers. Those workers decided to go along with a number of contract concessions after Armor closed its doors. And local and state officials sweetened the pot for Munford when it offered a nearly $1.5 million incentive package to reopen the plant.
Tomorrow marks the 1-year anniversary of the death of Ryan White. The teen died last April 8th in an Indianapolis hospital after a 5-year battle with AIDS. White helped change the world's perception of the deadly virus. As a national spokesman for AIDS, White taught parents, teachers, and students that AIDS victims must be treated with compassion and that the disease cannot be transferred through casual contact. White, who was a hemophiliac, contracted the virus from a blood transfusion. His case became public when he was banned from going to school. After a court battle, White was allowed back in the classroom. White's mother is currently working on turning her son's diary into an autobiography entitled Ryan White, My Own Story. Nancy Reagan was known for her Just Say No to Drugs program, but a new unauthorized biography by Kitty Kelly claims the former First Lady said yes to marijuana at least once in the 1960s. The book also alleges she had an affair with Frank Sinatra. Outside a church in Los Angeles, Mrs. Reagan wasn't talking, but former President Reagan gave this review.
A church would be the proper place for me to use the words I'd have to use in discussing that.
The autobiography is due out tomorrow.
Coming up, Fred and Rick with tonight's edition of Sports Sunday.
But first, Linda will tell us if we need to carry an umbrella along tomorrow. Stay with us.
For the next 4 days only at California Waterbeds, it's no payments for 12 full months. Experience the comfort and warmth only found in a waterbed and without any payments for 12 months. That's 52 weeks, 365 days, 12 full months. If you're looking for a beautiful waterbed or bedroom furniture, California Waterbeds is the only place to be this weekend. Choose from traditional, contemporary, four-poster, and soft-sided waterbeds with no payments till next year. Hurry, an offer like this doesn't come along often. No payments for 12 full months through Monday at 9, only at California Waterbeds.
The Yellowstone Super Pops. All your favorite music, internationally renowned stars, plus the Louisville Orchestra, led by the one and only Skitch Henderson. Don't miss a note.
Saturday, April 20th, Tony Bennett will steal your heart in the Yellowstone Super Pop spectacular season finale at Louisville Gardens. Call 584-7777.
It was an emergency walk-in space for 2 shuttle astronauts today. Mission specialist Jay Abt and Jerry Ross had to free the antenna of the Gamma Ray Observatory.
VisionWorld works. Okay, thanks, Shep. We'll see you on the other side.
Their successful repair job made it possible to release the $617 million observatory into orbit. The spacewalk was the first by Americans since December of 1985. The shuttle Atlantis is scheduled to return to the Edwards Air Force Base in California on Wednesday.
Okay, Linda, what's this about rain we're hearing? I don't like the sound of that.
We can't complain, though. It's been a beautiful weekend, and now as everybody heads back to work, of course, you all have the day off tomorrow, it's going to rain. So a lot of people won't be complaining. They'll be at work. Warm temperatures continue. Right now we have a temperature of 70 degrees. Our humidity is at 66%. Winds are southerly at 9 miles an hour. And our barometer is currently rising. Let's go ahead and check in with our weather watcher at this hour, where Bruce Carter reports in from Seymour there in Jackson County with 68 degrees, and he says it looks a lot like rain. Rain is on the horizon. It's moving into many areas right now. You can clearly see a band of light to moderate showers extending from Grayson County all the way down just to the north of Bowling Green around Cave City and Morgantown, Kentucky. This all moving to the north at 25 miles an hour. Warm temperatures continue across Kentuckiana. Here in Louisville, our high temperature today, 82 degrees, a good 18 degrees above our normal for this time of the year. The overnight low extremely mild with 57, the normal being 43. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 7:18, sunset tomorrow evening at 8:11. Rain continues across the Channel 32 viewing area. It's beginning to develop and move about 15 to 20 miles to the west of the Louisville metro area at this hour. We're expecting the showers to move on in within the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we are looking for rain, and not only tonight, but continuing throughout tomorrow. We've seen an increase in the clouds this evening. Where did all the sunshine go? We're seeing a definite change in the weather pattern as a frontal system approaches from the north and back to the west. This will be our next weather maker as it moves on into the Great Lakes and the Central Plains as well. The big picture shaping up like this. What we're seeing here is a clash of the air masses. A very warm, moist southerly flow around the high pressure that brought us all the sunshine all weekend is now pumping up plenty of Gulf moisture and some strong to severe storms across the deep south in Mississippi and also in Arkansas. The next system is beginning to drop down across the Central Plains. This is bringing somewhat cooler air into the area, and these two will clash together, causing some fairly strong thunderstorms tomorrow, so keep that in mind as you're heading out tomorrow morning. Our forecast for tonight is calling for mostly cloudy skies with thunder showers developing. Our low will be near 60. For tomorrow, more mostly cloudy skies with showers and thunderstorms continuing and highs in the upper 70s. For the next 5 days now, we're looking for the possibility of strong storms Monday into Tuesday with the warm temperatures into the 70s. A mixture of sunshine and clouds on Wednesday and Thursday as temperatures drop back to normal into the 60s, and a chance of rain once again on Friday with 70 degrees. Have to keep a watch on this situation. More rain in the forecast.
All right, thanks, Linda.
Well, it never rains on Sports Sunday. Let's check in with Fred and Rick and see what's coming up.
Thanks, Julia and Stephen. Hello again, everybody.
Coming up next on Channel 32 Sports Sunday.
Major League Baseball opens its season tomorrow with its umpires on strike. We'll talk with one from Louisville about it.
And St. Louis was in town today, and there were a lot of familiar faces. We'll talk with them.
And Jack is back.
And in our one-on-one segment, we'll talk with the manager of St. Louis, Joe Torre.
Absolutely. All that and more in just a couple seconds on Channel 32 Sports Sunday. Stick around. Now back to the news.
All right, thanks, guys. Looks like a good show. That's going to do it for us this evening, and we'll see you back here next weekend.
Have a good week and stay dry.
Good night.
What price peanut butter? Is it possible to produce a premium quality peanut butter without the premium price? The Peter Pan people proudly proclaim positively. To prove this proposition, Peter Pan was pitted against a pair of pricier peanut butters. A panel of particularly picky people passed up those pricier products and preferred Peter Pan. Proof positive, Peter Pan is a premium peanut butter without a premium price. Please pick up Peter Pan promptly.
I just earned a scholarship to the University of Kentucky thanks to Lieutenant Governor Brereton Jones. And through his student exchange program, I've learned to understand and appreciate people in other parts of Kentucky. Most people don't know it, but every year, Brereton Jones gives up part of his salary to fund the student exchange program.
Brereton Jones has been an innovator who's really helped our students. Just think what he could do for education reform as our next governor.
Brereton Jones, Governor. This time the people come first.
Picture this. You're driving a new S10 pickup or, say, a Beretta, and it's loaded, but you're paying less than $200 a month. I'm nuts, right? No, just smart. Right now, these Chevy guys can lease you a loaded S10 for $169 a month for 48 months, and this Beretta for $199 a month. Loaded. $199 a month, y'all. Full warranty. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it's not. So check it out with the Chevy guys around Indiana and Louisville. Louisville. Did I say that right?
Oh, Miss Jenkins, let me help you with that.
Nothing shatters a person's confidence like a personal injury. The pain, embarrassment, and financial problems can be overwhelming.
At the Becker Law Office, our job is restoring confidence. We've got the legal, technical, and financial resources to help cure that lost and helpless feeling. And our clients pay nothing until they've been paid for their injury. Call the Becker Law Office for the confidence injured people need.
Live from 32 WLKY TV in Louisville, Kentucky, this is Sports Sunday. Now, from Channel 32 News, here's Fred Cowgill and Rick Van Hoos.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Fred Cowgill along with Rick Van Hoos. Welcome to another edition of Sports Sunday.
You know, Fred, the baseball season's about to start tomorrow with another black eye, another dark cloud looming. When are they going to settle this thing? Last year, the lockout, now the umpires.
I know, it's so frustrating, but here we are with it. When the Reds play their traditional Major League Baseball season opening game tomorrow at Riverfront, there will be umpires picketing outside, on strike for the 6th time in 2 decades. And one is from Louisville. St. Matthews resident Tom Hallion has been an umpire for over a decade, and he's risking his career believing the 60 Major League umps deserve a raise which would cost the owners over $1 million.
You know, we don't expect to get paid with the ball players. You know, the fans don't come to see an umpire. But we're the integrity of the baseball game, and we are a part of the game, and that's all we're saying. You know, we don't want, your fans don't come to see us, but you still need umpires to play the game of baseball.
Meantime, the Reds will try to ignore what's going on outside Riverfront tomorrow and worry about their opening their World Series title defense against Houston, a title defense that will be officiated by, at least for now, minor league umpires. This afternoon, Cincinnati wrapped its preseason against Cleveland. Reds down 1-0 when Eric Davis took care of that. That groundout scored a run to tie it at 1. But Jack Armstrong reflected the continuing pitching problems for the Cincinnati Reds. That Albert Bell home run for the Indians really displayed it. The Reds end up losing 4-3 to Cleveland. They finished the exhibition season 13-17. Rick?
I don't know. Maybe they can do it. We'll see. The New Luck Cardinals were in town as they closed out the preseason here in Louisville with a 16-12-1 record. Over 16,000 fans showed up out at Cardinal Stadium as the Cards hosted Atlanta, and they were, what else, seeking autographs from some familiar faces, Gilkey, Langford, Zeal, and in a Braves uniform. It's hard to picture this, but that's Terry Pendleton. He'd been in a Cardinal uniform and a Redbird uniform for 3 months before that for 7 years. And the game got down to action, and a former Redbird in the third inning, Jose Oquendo, sliced a double to score another former Redbird. I told you there were a lot of familiar faces. Tom Pagnozzi, it was 1-1. But in the fifth, Terry Pendleton at the plate. He will get a broken bat single that will score Ron Gant and David Justice as the Braves go on to win 6-2. Talked to the Cardinals after the game about potential.
Kind of gives you the freedom to just go out there and relax and let it all hang out and let the people know what you can do and go out there and have fun and you know, just play and be in the big leagues. So.
It's good to see that the Cardinals use their farm system, and that's what it's all about. You know, moving up through the system gives you a feeling of hope when you're in the lower minor leagues, that you know that the Cardinals go to their youth, and I think it's going to be a positive move for the organization. I think we may surprise some people.
So we shall see how they fare.
Cardinals are going to have a tough year. Pitching problems, lots of injuries. The Reds?
But youth optimism. We'll see. Now, I like this Braves team. They came in here today. They could be a team to keep an eye on. They have young pitching. They acquired some veterans over the summer, among them Terry Pendleton and Sid Bream. Plus, they have last year's Rookie of the Year, David Justice. He's up from Cincinnati, Ohio. And you know what? When he was in college, he almost gave up the game of baseball. I talked with him today.
You know, I was going to give up playing baseball because, you know, my first love was basketball, and I had a full ride to college, and I was just going to trade my basketball skills for a degree and then just go out into the working world. And I just kept with baseball just because my coach in Summer League just told me to keep playing, and here I am.
Who's your buddy here?
This is prime time.
Dion wants to bring him over here. You know what? He keeps going back and forth in your interview. You know that, don't you?
Prime time. I don't know if you all know who prime time is.
But Dion, prime time, you keep going back and forth. Is that what you want his airtime, huh?
Well, I just want to be like Dave Justice. I have a daughter now, but when I have a son, his name is Dave Justice.
And I didn't mention Deion Sanders. Primetime can play football and baseball.
Fun today, a little more serious tomorrow. Coming up next on Channel 32 Sports Sunday, Purvis and Pritchard. Stay with us.
Still busy.
If you had South Central Bell's repeat dialing, you could tell your phone to continue dialing a busy number for you. And when the busy line is open, your phone would let you know with a special ring. So get repeat dialing now and save the $15.50 connection charge. Then touch a few buttons, and a busy signal won't keep you busy, just your phone.
Hey, finally got him. Where are we going to plant it? In the front yard. You really think this is going to help? I think so. Well,
like they said, every tree helps a little.
Yeah.
Every week on cable TV, you can find more than 50 hours of environmental programming
Show we saw on TV. Right? They talk and say we couldn't live without trees,
with issues that affect every member of your family. All 4 billion of them.
Maybe we should have got a bigger one.
When was the last time you received $1 worth of anything and 58 cents was all you paid? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now at Crossroads Furniture. On any purchase you make, you pay just 58 cents on the dollar. For example, if you buy $100 worth, $58 is all you pay. If you buy $1,000 worth, $580 is all you pay. Get the furniture you need now and pay just 58 cents on the dollar at Crossroads Furniture.
Hello, Louisville. I'm Geraldo, and I heard you've missed me. Well, I'm back and better than ever. Sometimes serious, sometimes hilarious, sometimes outrageous, but always with more than just another talk show. We're still making headlines with the people and topics that'll get you talking. I'm glad to be back in Louisville because the best is still to come. It's Geraldo, weekday mornings at 9, following CBS This Morning on 32 WLKY, your 24-hour news source.
Welcome back to Channel 32 Sports Sunday. Now, with just a handful of games left before the NBA playoffs, teams are understandably fighting for positions. One of the favorites is Chicago with superstar Michael Jordan. The best of the Central versus Philadelphia, the second best in the Atlantic today. Jordan around Minute Bowl for 41 points today. But Minute was pretty tough with the eventual alley-oop, and Hersey Hawkins added 31 points. Philadelphia gets Chicago 114-111 in overtime. The 76ers NBA record 8th overtime win this season. Mr. T in the game, too. One of the most improved players this NBA season is former U of L star Purvis Ellison. Ellison has survived a bunch of lingering injuries to help an otherwise lackluster Washington Bullets club. Purvis, in just his second pro season, says he's taken inspiration from teammate Bernard King, who came back from a career-threatening injury. Channel 32 Sports talked with Purvis on his visit to Indianapolis on Friday, and he talked more about the injuries and coming back from them.
He called me to the back of the bus, and I didn't know what it was pertaining to, and he just wanted to just talk, and we talked the whole way back. He's a person who has a lot of advice. He's been through everything, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to play with him because he's an inspiring guy.
Bernard King and Purvis, what a team. Louisville's latest boxing champion is home tonight. James Pritchard is the Intercontinental Cruiserweight champ after beating Cesar Macatini. Pritchard arrived at Sanford Field tonight from London after he ran his record to 15-0 in the division.
He was mean as a caged tiger before training. I see that title has lifted your spirits a lot now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm a little bit more calm right now. Now, this is where the hard part comes. I mean, you got to stop these guys from coming in and taking crack testing. Everybody wanting to beat the guy that got the title. So it's not a time for me to go home and sit back and relax like I've been doing. I've got to go home and think about my title in the other room and go out there and really get some hard training together.
Congratulations to James. Now, in the feature at Keeneland this afternoon, the Beaumont Stakes, it was If You Could See Me Now, paying $5.80 for a $2 win ticket. Sportsman's Park in Chicago has been stunned tonight by the death of a jockey. It was the apprentice Rodney Dickens, 19 years old, killed in the 5th race with that particular spill. A special little guy fell. Dickens, behind on Rough Pride, had no place to go. He died of head injuries. Also, one horse died in the accident. Meantime, Jack Nicklaus is a winner again. We go to the videotape and see video of it. No, we'll talk about it anyway. Nicklaus, certainly the outer limits. Yes, the tradition in Phoenix, a second straight win for Jack there. Now it's on to Augusta and the Masters after putts like that. And at the Derby Museum tonight, about 400 people were treated at the debut of a priceless exhibit. The most prestigious awards in sports display includes trophies for the Indianapolis 500, NCAA basketball titles for UK and U of L, the Kentucky Colonels ABA Championship Trophy, even Muhammad Ali's first pair of boxing gloves. The most prestigious awards in sports display runs through June. Coming up next, we'll be one-on-one with Cardinals manager Joe Torre. Stay with us on Channel 32's Sports Sunday.
Controversial, uncompromising, informative, first run. The heat is back in Louisville, so wake up and sizzle with Geraldo tomorrow morning at 9 on your 24-hour news source.
Deanne looks like she could never cause a day's trouble.
She's very vicious. I will go to jail before I will bring her back into my home.
Children who bully their parents on the next Oprah show.
Tomorrow at 4 on 32 WLKY.
I went to school in a classroom like this. We only had one teacher, and it didn't take long to figure out if they weren't up to snuff. Our schools are bigger now, but I think the same fundamental standards ought to apply. That's why I'm for competency testing, so we can get ineffective teachers out of the classroom. A lot's changed since I was in school, but if I'm governor, we'll start testing teachers. And one thing will be the same. If they're not up to snuff, they won't be teaching in Kentucky anymore.
Martha Wilkinson.
Jeopardy! Any questions?
Weeknights at 5:30 and 7:30 on 32 WLKY.
Joe Torre enters the 1990s in his first full season as manager of the St. Louis Cardinals after Whitey Herzog led them to wins in a World Series and 3 pennants in the 1980s. Recent Redbirds like Bernard Gilkey and Ray Lankford replaced legends lost to free agency, and preseason predictions have the Cards finishing as low as last place. Joining us for Channel 32 Sports Sunday and our one-on-one segment is the man on the proverbial hot seat, Joe Torre, the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. First of all, Joe, welcome to town and thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Fred. The hot seat, huh? I don't know if it's such a hot seat. It feels pretty good.
Does it? Well, tell me about that. On the one hand, it's kind of a tough deck in terms of the expectations of Cardinals fans that have been so successful for so long. On the other hand, I mean, let's face it, there are some big names that you've lost and some tough times ahead for the Cardinals. But then again, crossing our fingers because some great players still with the team.
Well, the thing is about big names, years ago, those big names nobody heard of. They were the Gilkeys and the Lankfords. And we think we have pretty good outfield with Lankford, Gilkey, and, of course, Felix Jose in right field. They've had a good spring. We've won a lot of ball games, and it's just a matter that we're going to be young and we're inexperienced, and if we're going to have any problems, it's going to be in that area. But I think ability-wise, we're fine. Well, Lankford, I got a chance to see him last year, and he showed me he could play big league baseball. He had a great spring, sprained his wrist a little bit about 4 days ago. There's a chance he'll miss the opener, but he'll be the regular center fielder. And Gilkey, he's had the best spring of anybody as far as a kid coming into spring training, and I didn't know if he was quite ready. I knew he was going to be a big league player someday, but after getting about 4 hits the first game of spring training and having to miss about 5 or 6 days with a sore elbow, came right back and had a sensational spring, not only offensively, but in the field, on the bases. He's made some mistakes on the bases, but he's been aggressive, and that's really what we've been preaching all spring.
One problem that you're going to have to solve early pitching, names like McGrain, Matthews, Cox, Worrell are all hurt or have been hurt in past situations. And now you've got guys like Hill, Olivares, Tewksbury, and Smith throwing for you. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, our starting rotation without McGrain, it just means that each one of these guys have to do a little bit extra. Bryn Smith's going to open for us. We're going to follow him with De Leon and Kenny Hill in the Cubs series.
Joe, as we run out of time, we'll wrap this up quickly. A winning season in preseason, a lot of people were surprised at that, so there is a lot of room for hope here.
Well, we felt it was important for us to win in spring training because we haven't been together, and probably more important for us than the pennant winners of last year because we really had to prove something to ourselves and the young players. You never win too much for the young players. They need that confidence.
Cardinals manager Joe Torre in his second year, first full year with the Cardinals. Thank you for joining us for Sports Sunday on our one-on-one segment. Come back in just a few seconds as we do the best for last on Channel 32 Sports Sunday.
Jeopardy! Any questions?
Weeknights at 5:30 and 7:30 on 32 WLKY.
A national survey confirms it. People who sleep on Big Sur Waterbeds are significantly more comfortable than conventional bed users. Find out what you've been missing on affordable waterbeds like our solid wood Contempo for $124, our Shiloh with 3-section bookcase headboard for $136, the Scottsdale with mirror for $159, or the Norway with sliding cupboards for $169. Affordable and oh so comfortable. Big Sur Waterbeds, America's largest. 7855 Preston Highway at the Outer Loop in Louisville.
In town, I know my job. When I'm at home, I know horses, but I don't know tractors. So when I decided I needed one, I talked to my friend Gary, a contractor. His advice was simple. Get a Kubota. 4-wheel drive for traction. Easy shuttle shifting from forward to reverse. Compact, reliable, maneuverable, and strong. Well, I got one, just right for me. Gary was right. Get a Kubota.
Parrish Implement, Louisville, Brandenburg, and Crestwood.
April 22nd, 1990. Millions of people across Kentuckiana, the nation, and the world celebrate Earth Day. Now, it's 1 year later. What has the world done? What have public officials done? What have you done to protect the planet? Throughout April, Channel 32 News focuses on environmental issues that affect everything from your neighborhood to the very life of our world. Join us for Secure the Earth, a special report tomorrow on Channel 32 News, the 6 o'clock report.
All right, perk up, because it's time for our best for last. And for my money, how can you beat this golf shot? Andrew McGee in Houston, par 3, 189. Freddie's got a 3-iron in his hands.
No way.
And he's saying it this time, darn, I'm going too far right. Wait a second. Check out that mound rebound and watch a hole-in-one. That is something special.
Tough to top, but I'll take a shot at it. My best for last reminds me of the old cliche, you're full of hot air. Talk about celebrating a birthday in style. Monia Joyce celebrated her 86th birthday today by jumping out of an airplane. She says, quote, and I'm quoting, if God has let me live until 86, he won't take me today. And he didn't. She was born 2 years after the Wright brothers flew at Kitty Hawk, and that's her touching down at 86 years old. Way to go, Monia. That's the way to celebrate an 86th birthday.
That is amazing. She came on the ground, the guy that she was down with, she said, now tell me, is this better than sex? She's 86 years old. She not only jumps out of the parachute, she has a sense of humor.
And what was the answer?
I don't know. Cut the tape off. That's it for now. I better get out of here before I get in trouble.
Right. For Rick Van Hoos, I'm Fred Calgill. Thank you for joining us for Channel 32 Sports Sunday. See you next week. See you later.
You know, there are a lot of things you can do in about an hour. You can wash your dog, drive from here to Waddy-Peytona, read 38 pages of Gone with the Wind, paint 3 kitchen walls, get a sunburn in Daytona, get turned down 6 times in a singles bar, or you can have your eyes examined and get a new pair of glasses at Dr. Bizer's VisionWorld.
5 area locations.
You may be considering a scientific diet for your pet, but I know it can be a challenge to find one they'll love to eat.
Introducing New Expert, a new scientific diet from the makers of Pedigree and Whiskas. For dogs, for cats. Developed with our veterinarians who are determined to create a great-tasting scientific diet.
Remember, it's not nutritious if your pets won't eat it.
New Expert, a real breakthrough from the makers of Pedigree and Whiskas. Expert, a great-tasting scientific diet.
I would make the packages about yay big.
Easy to carry.
No weak stuff, you know, something that's powerful.
It's got to clean.
Clean my shirts, my sweats, my socks.
With kids, they get dirty about every minute.
Just knock it out.
I want my colors to be bright.
I just want my colors.
I hate when red turns pink.
Cheer with Color Guard. A scoopful cleans a machineful.
Can you see what I'm up against here?
When you want a hamburger on Monday, who wants to wait till Thursday to eat it? That's crazy. That's not the way we do it at Wendy's. We have 7 delicious items on our super value menu, just 99 cents each. Baked potatoes with sour cream, garden salads, chili, and even junior bacon cheeseburgers. Every day, 99 cents, and you can count on it. There's another one. I guess they don't think I get hungry every day.
The super value menu, 7 items for 99 cents each, 7 days a week, only at Wendy's.